CShifflett. I'm here to talk to you today about robotic cows, the future of dairy farming in America. A little disclaimer first, cows aren't actually robots. Robotics and cows together on a dairy farm yield milk from all your cows. My research question, which I wanted to research what were the three biggest technological advancements to increase efficiency on dairy farms. I thought, well, what could there be? One of the biggest things that's out there nowadays is robots. With the 21st century coming about, the old way of milking is kind of going out, and the new way of milking is coming in. Robotics aspect with a company called Lely, they're a Dutch firm that creates innovative dairy solutions for all dairy farms across the world. It's called the Lely A4 Astronaut. It's a robotic milker that basically does everything you ever want it to do. I looked into my other technological advancement are the collars and tags that come out nowadays. They're like advanced in what they can do. They can monitor many different aspects of a cow's life. Basically, a bunch of pertinent information for their farm and the health of their cows and their herd. Was the basically other innovations such as the new feeding types. They had this machine called the Lely Vector, automatic feeding robot that goes along 45 minutes through the feed aisle and how much feed is actually there and how much feed is needed. Very interesting stuff, and I'm going to talk to you about some of that stuff today. For my internship, I worked with Miss Michelle Goodwin at Grandview Farms out in Gordonsville, Virginia. I worked with them at their they have a robotic, two robots there, and the robots can usually hold up to about 60, they usually milk 60 cows, about 120 or so cows on their herd. And so while I was there, I learned how to maintenance the machines. I learned basically what they do on a daily basis and how you have to work with the cows, and there's lots of different aspects with that. Also, the other things I worked with was I did a lot of cleaning because cows use the bathroom a lot, so I had to spay a bunch of cow grain, but it's all good. It was fun. So this is actually the machine. This is the Lely A4 Astronaut. It's very high tech. You see, what happens is the cow comes in through this way, and it walks in. The machine reads, "Hey, this is cow 123." It puts out a little feed trough right here, so the cow has incentive to stay still and look at that. Milked, and then a thing called the strong arm comes out from underneath the cow, underneath the machine, under the cow. Takes and cleans the teats of the cow because you have to clean them up before you milk them, because if not, they're kind of nasty. So what happens is that happens, and then it uses lasers to actually determine where all the teats are. And then with that, they suction on each one, and then milks the cow by itself. There's no human interaction except for to calibrate the machines and work that way. 24/7, 365 days a year. Helpful and beneficial because say you're on a different dairy farm, such as with a milking parlor, you'd have to milk at 2 in the morning and 2 in the afternoon. That only gets milk best 3 to 4 times a day. You're missing out on the opportunity to get milk. And so that's what I did. I worked with this machine. This is what it looks like on the inside. You see here, this is a completely interactive touchscreen interface where you can calibrate the machine and you can see like real time what's happening with the machine, what's going in. Being milked, there are up to 120 different variables being tested and simultaneously being caught and put into the data stream. So you've learned the temperature of the milk from that cow, the basically color of the milk, the conductivity, the amount of somatic cells inside, and all these variables can actually attribute to the cow's health and other variables of that matter. It's very high tech, very interesting. And actually, the machine, when a cow says that something's wrong with the milk, it'll actually notify the owner if 3 is sick. How does the machine know that this is cow 123? They all have their own collar. And each collar comes with a unique identifier for that cow. So you can learn all the pertinent information that she needs to know. 3 has a bad left front quarter, so it can't be milked in that quarter. It goes through the machine, and the machine reads the cow and says, "Hey, they got a bad left front quarter." Others. It's pretty crazy. And so another thing I want to do, since I'm comparing efficiency to the older farm technologies, things that are coming out, I actually went to a local dairy parlor and milked cows there for a couple hours. I went out at 2 in the afternoon. They already went out at 2 that morning. I wasn't up for that one. And what I did, I went into this pit and I milked cows. What happens is you got to go out, get the herd. They all come in. Cows on each side come in, right here. And then you got to go through a process. First thing is you got to take and you have to dip the teats individually, get them cleaned up. And then you have to strip the teats of the solution because you got to get them off. And that also stimulates the drop down process of milk. It's off, of course. And then you put the milk suction cups on. Talking about the cow with bad left front quarter. And this happenstance, what you'd have to do, you'd have to take basically a rubber plug and put it into one of the milking cups because you have to compensate for that. Cows get milked and the suction things, they actually kind of just fly off the cows and you can get hit in the head and it kind of hurts. Found that out, but it's pretty awesome. We posted it with an iodine solution for us to clean them off. You can like really stain your skin yellow for a little bit, so that was fun too. This one of the best things. And so what happened is so that was just my internship basically. My community service, what I planned to do, I worked with my community service mentor, Casey Daniels. She's a local 4-H cooperative extension agent with the TAC building, the Sarver, and we worked to create a program, well, more of a field trip to go out to the farm I worked at. And I worked with also Mr. Likens and Mr. McWilliams at what I wanted to do with this field trip, I wanted to take the kids out there and show them what days in the 21st century. A lot of kids, they don't actually know what farming is. I'm gonna hop on my tractor and work hard every day, but that's not really what it is anymore. What you gotta do, you gotta know about biology, you gotta know what you need to feed your cows, and you gotta know mechanics, you gotta know how to work with the machines that are there. You have to know how to be a businessman and work all kinds of angles so you can actually get the best feed and work on the business. And having business is kind of hard. So I want them to learn how to do things in this new century, in this new world, show them what farming really is before they actually try to dive in and get into it. And I think that's actually very beneficial to them and will help out a lot. This actually pictured, I was supposed to have my legacy yesterday, but due to unforeseen weather circumstances, we were not able to take the field trip. For the 29th, and I hope for this field trip to actually be every semester for the kids so they can go out and each new ag class can see what's happening and they're going to just love it and hopefully learn something from it because I learned something from it. With this whole process, I learned that I really love cows, especially technology and cows, because I grew up on a farm, like I said, and with that, I also worked in technology, and I was able to blend two of these things together, and I found out that it's harder than some people think. Yes, yeah, you got to actually, like with farms, there's so many different variables that you got to figure out. Like one thing that happened actually when I was at my internship, I showed up one day and I couldn't find my mentor. So I went back and there was actually a cow in the field, and what was wrong was this cow was in her 7th lactation, which means she's had 7 babies prior to this. And you know, of course, cow milk and the calcium comes from the cows. Over time, had like slowly kind of deteriorated. Twice a year is give her so that she can be healthy. There's all these kinds of crazy factors that you got to help with. As for my future plans, I plan to go to George Mason, study computer science, and also hopefully security. As of right now, I'm working on getting my CompTIA Security Plus certification. I'm already Net Plus certified. Plan for the future. Hopefully also maybe I can do some stuff with agriculture technology. Extremely fascinating. Also for my advice to you future students coming up to governor's school, like my other 2 people have said before me, find something you love. Absolutely loved. I had a fantastic time on my project. I got to meet some fantastic people, and I found something to enjoy and hopefully accomplish in my life and work with. And because if you love it, it won't be any work at all. Because I remember I'm just like, oh hey, I'm gonna talk about some cows in this little journal. I ain't gotta worry about nothing. And just find something you love. And that's all I gotta say.
educating the students before, and rather than just and getting out of school for some kids, relating some of the things that you learned and structuring that knowledge for your.
I created kind of a teaching aid that I'm hoping to get, which goes through some of the things I talked about in this presentation, and then it'll also help beforehand so they can learn what they need to know and how some of the machinery works and how it correlates with.
Is the equipment cost effective?
Yes, it actually is. Because of the current age, there's very little help on dairy farms, of course. The machine is there 24/7, 365 days a year, like I said. The costs you have are usually just with water, and because it's steam powered, I believe it steams itself to clean it every day, down for about 45 minutes. Have to worry about having basically if you need like 1.5 people work the farm, this can work as your half person instead of having to pay 2, because in the long run, pay, and also you may not have that other person to pay.
I'm sorry. Did you find out or learn as you went about the farming industry kind of keeps up to date over the course of time, especially because technology is integrated into your research? You stay educated in your future of farming, and what did you learn about the farmers that you work with?
Well, I know that like farmers like to read magazines. I figured out there's a lot of farming magazines that come out very often and have a lot of the new things that are coming out. It says, hey, new technology, and so I know a lot of farmers actually read those, and have a lot of those, and yeah, and that's what I saw.
Thank you.